Welcome to WellKit, the podcast where we discuss workplace well-being in all its forms and we explore what it really takes to create healthier workspaces. In each episode, we talk with experts in the field of organizational development, positive psychology, neuroscience, research, academia, business. We will combine science with practice. And everything that we talk about is aimed at helping individuals as well as organizations grow meaningfully, sustainably, and well. The podcast is enabled by FitKit, the application that brings corporate well-being in the form of exercise, relaxation, and mental health care. I am your host. My name is Anna Kostovska. I am a licensed psychologist with background in organizational and personal development, as well as leadership. And I'm very passionate about creating environments where people, as well as organizations, are able to realize their potential and grow. As our very first guest, I would like to welcome Darko Petrovski, president of the Macedonian HR Association, former board member of the European HR Association, and founder and CEO of talent business incubator Step Up. Thank you for being here, Darko, and welcome.
Thank you very much, Anna, for this invitation. I'm very pleased to be here with you today. Even though this is my first podcast or videocast, I have to say that I feel very comfortable here, very nice to be with you, and I'm looking forward to sharing some of my thoughts, my visions, my experiences as well. Even though I have to say I wanted to start my own podcast, it was a year ago. I'm still not there. I don't know even if I will be going into this direction. But first of all, congratulations to you and to your team for putting up this podcast together. And I wish you lots of success.
Oh, thank you. It's a topic that we all feel passionate about, and I guess it's not really important who does it. It's the topics that we discuss. So it's really a pleasure and an honor for having you here because you have such a vast experience in the human resources. The topic that we will be discussing is building better workplaces from the HR perspective, and you have been involved in HR. In the corporate world, you are involved now in HR as overseeing what is happening in the whole industry here in Macedonia, as well as Europe and even broader. And we will be discussing about how things have changed over the past years and what is happening now, what will be happening in the future. Okay, so let's start from the beginning. What does well-being mean to you at the workplace?
So talking about well-being, I think well-being is considered to be one of the, I would say, more recent concepts around HR and HR management.
It's like a buzzword recently.
Well, it is recently because if you go back in the past, talking about well-being at all, psychological well-being, it's in the mid-90s from the past century. So it's already a thing from the past century. But it was about the psychological well-being. As far as I know, there have been sort of Case and Leaf, for example. They introduced some things around the psychological well-being, but in my point of view, it evolved in the meantime, and it has been adopted also among the HR management I would say, practice, but also in the scientific circles as one of the potentially important concepts in terms of managing people. So therefore, I think it is already a very important, and it becomes more and more developed. This is the point. Talking about the concept itself, well-being, I would say that it usually has more different elements. Let's put it like that. First of all, let's divide the word workplace well-being. So we have workplace and we have well-being. Let's start with the well-being, and then maybe we can come to what is workplace well-being and how I understand it. Okay. I was talking about all those different elements, and I would first like to mention the core elements of it. One of them is for sure the physical health, which is absolutely important, not just at the workplace, but for everyone in life. Yeah. So physical well-being is one of the things that everyone takes care for himself. But obviously, also the organizations need to take care about the physical well-being or the physical health of the people working for the organizations, for example, as well as the society takes into account the physical health of the population.
We do spend most of the time at work when we think about it, so it makes sense.
Absolutely.
To focus on the physical health while at work.
Absolutely. I mean, especially in the organizations, when the people are at work, one of the most important things is their performance. And if you expect someone to perform well, then you expect them to really have their personal health on the highest possible level. And therefore, organizations nowadays take care about their employees in terms of their physical well-being.
So when we are at the physical well-being, health and safety is a legal requirement. And still we see companies that do it just because they have to and just to show that they've put the employees through the training and do something, but not really put accent.
I mean,
how do you see that?
Talking about health and safety at work, of course, one of the most important things are the health risks. And assessing those risks that might lead to certain injuries, especially at the workplace, is absolutely on the highest priority, especially for organizations, because they are supposed to organize their working processes in a manner that no one gets hurt. So therefore, all the measures that are required in order to mitigate or avoid any risks concerning people's health, physical health, is absolutely crucial, and therefore it is part of the legislation as well. On the other hand, there are some other topics that are in concern for the organizations. And they are more related, let's say, to their, I will go now to the second element, maybe to their emotional health or well-being. Because we know if the people are stable, emotionally stable at their workplace, then they feel more motivated, they can really perform much better on their workplace. And therefore, the care about the emotional health is also important. But we also know that emotional health is not just a matter, as well as the physical, of course, is not just a matter of the conditions at the workplace, but also at the conditions outside of the workplace.
We can't really divide the emotions.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, well-being outside of the workplace is also one crucial element, one key element, and therefore, what's going on with the employees outside of their workplace might not be really the matter of concern of the employers directly, but indirectly
it affects
absolutely
how we work.
And this is why employers nowadays are paying more attention, and they are trying to help and to assist their employees in solving certain emotional problems that are not produced at the workplace, but somewhere outside. And nowadays we can see many similar practices around this that concern the families of the employees, or maybe related to some financial difficulties, or maybe some investments like housing of the employees. So these are all things that are somehow interrelated also to the workplace and to the employers.
That's good news for the employers, for the employees in the companies. What else has been changing throughout the years? You've seen everything.
Well, not everything. I've seen a lot. Let's say many things are changing. Once the environment is changing, and the environment is changing so rapidly lately, I mean, especially having in mind all those technological developments and improvements that we've seen, especially in this past couple of decades in the 21st century, but also before. And it's about keeping the speed or keeping up with those changes that are occurring in our environment. So we're coming actually to the third element that I would like to describe, and that's the environmental well-being. What I mean under environmental is basically related to the surroundings, but also to the social environment. So this is how I see the thing. So when we are talking about the surrounding, of course, it is the physical surrounding of the employees once they are at the workplace, where they work.
So it's the basic elements like the light, the desk, the chairs,
exactly.
But also the people around.
So first of all are the physical conditions. And of course, if you have a good light, daylight maybe at the workplace, or so-called ergonomic setup, then it is much easier for the people to spend long time or longer time at their workplace. So therefore, having high standards is more and more important also for the employers and for the employees, because the employees are now in a situation where they can be choosing where to work, and they prioritize their circumstances or their where they are willing to work during their working period. And on the other hand, the social part is also very important. Of course, it's about the people around them. And, you know, the people usually spend a substantial amount at their workplace. It doesn't matter if the workplace is in a special area, building, or outside of the building, or they're working from home, for example, and these are the practices that we see lately a lot, especially after the Corona times. So it just doesn't matter, but it is all the social component is very, very important. And in my point of view, of course, this environmental element is so important because it can influence both the physical and also the emotional health. Talking about the physical health, you mentioned, for example, light. Of course, if it is dark there and they need to write something, or they need to read something, or they need to work at the computer, or they need to do some special operations that are related, I don't know, to precise mechanics, for example. If it's dark there, it is not possible. And of course, it damages their sight. It can damage also other health conditions with the people. So therefore, but now talking about the social part, of course, all those relations with their peers, with their managers especially, with their subordinates, for example, all those relations influence the emotional status of the employees.
It's all interconnected. It's not...
Absolutely.
We can't divide them really.
Absolutely.
So one affects every other. So what's your opinion about how companies are doing in this area, well-being?
Well,
what's happening now?
I would say that the things are evolving also with the companies. I mean, if you go back in the past, the whole setup of the organizations were completely different. I mean, if you see the industrialization process, at the beginning or in the late 19th century or at the beginning of the 20th century, the aim for productivity was on the top priority, I would say, also for the employers as well. And in those under those circumstances, not much have been done or taken into account to make the conditions for the employees better.
The link between the well-being of the people and the productivity maybe was not so defined. It wasn't thought to be important?
I would maybe see it from a different perspective, and that is that at those times, even until the late 20th century, especially in our country, we were witnessing this. The offer of labor force was much bigger than the requirements. And once you can really replace everyone in that process, that means that the demands for higher standards at the workplace are not that relevant.
Yes.
And these things, in my point of view, have changed, especially, I would say, in the Western world, because we are witnessing now really that demand for the workforce, especially the skilled workforce, is much higher than the offer. And therefore, it makes employers to really put high efforts into providing better conditions for their employees and to be mindful of employees' expectations, let's say. Because for the employees, if we are looking at that from an employee side, they don't just aim for good standards in let's say in the physical surrounding, but they would like to excel also intellectually. So the intellectual well-being is also part of it. Then we are coming to once at the workplace, we are coming to the financial well-being as well. So we are talking about salaries and such things, rewards. Then we are talking about personal growth, because not everyone would stay at the same position if there is no element of certain personal growth. And then the career growth comes to that. And the vocational element is also there. I mean, the people are nowadays not staying in one profession throughout their working life, but they're changing professions. So they're changing their vocations as well. So this all makes the whole workplace very complex.
It is complex, and it's not just one thing to take into account, and it's multidisciplinary. Even the jobs, right? Previously, if you were an engineer, you were doing engineer things. Now it's a lot more mixing.
Exactly.
So it's in every profession and HR as well. So a lot to be taken into account at all times, I guess.
You're right. You're right. I mean, it's a complex world, and it's getting more and more complex.
It's not getting any much easier.
Yeah, and therefore, I mean, we are now coming to the point where to give an answer to the question why the companies need professionals that will be taking care of the employee relations, let's say. Let's put it like that. This is the reason why the HR profession or people management profession is evolving throughout especially the past maybe 20, 30 years. And this is how this profession came out of something which was previously known as administration around the employees.
Around the employment, the vacations, the sick leaves.
Exactly. Time evidence, whatever. But nowadays, the HR professionals, if they really want to help the organization, help the company develop, they need to have and to know about different concepts. And well-being is absolutely one of those concepts that are very important to be understood. I mean, I always make a kind of a parallel to what was happening in the old organizations. I have an example, and I developed a theory around that, talking about the indigenous tribes, for example, maybe several centuries ago, even more. Every tribe is basically an organization. It can be there can be a parallel between that organization and nowadays workplace organizations, companies, let's say.
Yes, it's an organized system.
It's an organization, and they also have certain hierarchy. They have one person who is in charge for all matters, let's say, overseeing all functions. But there are people who have been taking care about the defense, for example, of the tribe. There have been people that have been taking care about the economical activities, supplying the things that are needed for that organization. When money came, then they needed to take care about the finances as well. This is all what we have in nowadays
someone needed
organizations.
to make the clothes, someone needed to cook the food.
Exactly.
What did HR do what's the HR in the tribes?
Well, this is actually the point I wanted to come to, that basically there was a person who always needed to take care about people's physical health, about people's emotional health, about people's social health in those tribes. And you know who that was?
Who?
That's a person known as shaman. So he was kind of taking care for the health of the whole tribe. And those people really needed to have a direct connection to each person in the tribe and follow and control their physical health, their emotional health. And also they were in charge for all those traditional events that they were making, which was very important for the organizational culture of those tribes. It is absolutely similar to nowadays organizations. And therefore I'm always saying the HR managers in the companies nowadays are basically the modern shamans.
But are they? Are they really doing that role?
Yeah, that's a good question. The thing is whether all of them nowadays really understand this concept and understand that actually it is required from them, that means the top management or the CEO requires from the HR managers to really take care about the overall health of their organization. If it is so, of course, we see also different examples. But I know I was myself HR manager, head of HR, an organization in a very big company. And I know that the people who accept this concept and really try to take care for the overall health of the organization and the people in the organization, they really do a good job. The ones who are not doing that, they will always struggle in their position. And this is my advice to all of them also to reconsider and think about this role that they should be taking in their organizations.
So this is very valuable. Thank you. And I'm sure many of the future or current HR managers would ask, but how? How do I convince my CEO to invest in well-being? How can we help the HR managers to put the case as case of well-being as an important strategic orientation for the companies?
I think I understand your question, and I notice in many companies that basically they're copying and pasting certain patterns or certain practices. For example, and all those practices are related to certain investments that the company needs to do in order to fulfill them. For example, there was a trend in the past years, and you could have seen it especially in the technological, I would say, companies, especially from the information technologies, where, they were really paying a lot of attention to provide very good physical conditions. That means nice offices, the top of the art infrastructure, as computers, ergonomic chairs, for example, for them, and then also some other contents that were not seen before. For example, they were, having rooms for
the footballs,
amusement,
the lounge chairs,
lounge chairs, football games, or table tennis, for example.
I've heard that some even get spaces with pools. So that's the length that they go to.
Yeah. Yeah, and you see all those patterns have been followed, copied and pasted, and all those patterns really need investments, certain investments, maybe not the biggest investments.
Does that actually contribute to well-being? Well, what's your opinion about
I'm
this?
sure, first of all those companies have been following some good examples around the world. I mean, we've all seen all those nice videos from Google or from Microsoft, and
how they want to sleep there and don't even want to go home.
Sure. And they were trying to adopt those practices in their environment. On the other hand, I'm sure that there are, if you do such a thing in other type of industry, organization that works, in production, I'm not sure that can work. It cannot be. It needs certain adaptations, or if not even trying to find completely different practices for those employees in such industries, and in my point of view, it's up to the HR managers and specialists to find innovative ways how to provide a setup for the well-being of their organization.
So what you're suggesting is that copying and pasting should be done very, very carefully and
absolutely,
and taken the context into consideration.
Absolutely, and being mindful about the investments, because if you always go to the CEO asking for money for another gadget in that environment, maybe not the wisest thing. And the CEOs will always be looking for the results. What that thing has contributed to the organizations? Can they provide data about the productivity? So has the productivity risen recently? Are the people effective? Are the people efficient also on their workplace? So it's not just about the gadgets, it's about the numbers, how the people really perform. Do those measures for the well-being of employees really assist in getting better operational results?
It's actually, I would really like to put a focus on what you're saying right now, because it's whatever the company does, it needs return on investment. And I have this feeling that the HR managers deal with these things, but maybe not do it in a business-wise way. They don't show the business case for it, and they don't show the numbers. And maybe that's why those initiatives are taken into consideration like something soft or nice to have, or don't really have significant contribution. So what to do about it? How do we help HR managers show that return on investment of this initiative is serious?
Let's put it this way. A return on investment is a value that not all of them have heard about. I mean, you really need to maybe study economics. I mean, in my case, I'm a mechanical engineer with my background as a graduated mechanical engineer. But once I changed and I moved to HR, I really did my master in economics and in business.
So maybe this is a good suggestion for everybody that works in HR manager to actually get to know working with numbers.
Of course. I mean, you need to know math. I have seen also in the past many people that couldn't go along with maths were going out, so they would enroll into engineering, for example. I had many cases in my past. And once they have noticed they cannot go along with the math there, they were moving either to laws or to economics or I don't know where. I mean, many other psychology or, some of the humanistic areas of the education, because they were not going along with math. But you need math everywhere. You need math everywhere. You need it in law. You need it in economics. You need it even in psychology. If you don't know the simple logic of the things, so math is logic.
Oh, this is absolutely true, and you actually picked me with this. So as a graduated psychologist, I understood the importance of economics after I finished university, and that's when I started to actually learn, because I wasn't getting anywhere with my nice initiatives because I couldn't actually show the case.
Exactly.
What is this guy that needs to pay going to get out of it? And that's not brutal. That's wise.
So you need to work with data, and you need to collect data, and you need to know how to analyze those data, and you need to get to conclusions out of those data.
So we need to get children to love maths at the beginning.
Absolutely. I mean, that's...
So this is it's not that math is not for everybody. We need to maybe have this conversation on a societal level. Mathematics is very important. It's very useful for everything, not just for the engineers.
Sure. It's about logic. Math is logical. Everything that is not logical, then it won't work. At least not on a long term.
Yeah, very, very interesting point. So about things that are working, can we name some examples of HR practices that have showed results, so that we can help individuals that work in HR actually try to do something?
Yeah, there are many practices. I mean, we've been doing a lot of practices in our company where it was kind of related as well to well-being, let's say. I mean, I can recall all those team building events that we have prepared. All those team buildings were about social bonding, achieving cohesion in the teams, about learning as well.
Learning. So just I really want to focus on this. It's not just about blowing steam, and it's not just something that companies need to do because everybody else does it. It has other senses, as you said, connecting, learning. How do they learn in team buildings?
I will explain to you. I mean, we were maybe one of the first, or maybe even the first big company that went into this process of team building. And the thing that I was requiring from from the people we engaged to deliver all those team building events was that we need to have a learning component in each single team building we organized.
So it's not just organized drinking,
No,
but
no.
intentionally have the learning component.
We were working together with them. We were designing a concept, how that will look like and what will be the outcome of it. And we never had any team building event just with having fun. Of course, fun is a very important thing. It makes the people come closer, come together. And we always had the funny parts of that team building. But a learning component needs to be there. So therefore, as I said, learning is one of the good things. But nowadays I see also, you've asked me about examples. We can see many examples now in our environment as well. Many of our companies are doing very innovative things around that. So they innovate really. They have new approaches to that. I recently have seen a colleague of mine from the past company worked as an HR manager in a pharma industry, and they have been trying to reset the whole company, and they have involved many different things from exercising to, I don't know, yoga to certain things around food and physical health.
So this is in daily activities. It's not a separate event like the team building.
No.
What you're saying
do
is
it, for example,
implemented in their daily working activities.
Yeah, they take care about the physical health of the company, but they also tried to develop very innovative things around the well-being and to help their employees and to support their employees. You know that nowadays there are companies, I know companies that provide for their employees, for example, coaching, mentoring, even psychological support when needed. And that is absolutely very important. For example, I recently worked on a project with the United Nations Population Fund, UNFPA, and it was about family-friendly workplace. So
what does that mean practically in an organization setting?
It's especially having in mind the latest developments related to the negative demographic trends in our whole region, as well in our country as well. The United Nations Population Fund have been thinking about certain concepts that can provide employees and organizations as well how to support the families. Why? Of the employees, of course. Why? Because, one part of the biggest part of the time you spend at work.
Yes.
And the next part usually you spend with your family. But the best way for the employees would be to combine those both processes in a way that no one suffers, whether the work nor the family. And for that one, people need flexibility. If you have to take care of your child, or if you have to take care, for example, of a member of the family, older member of the family, father, mother.
People need to get out sometimes from
Exactly.
work to take care of some family matter.
And not everywhere you have this flexibility. And now also the things with the employers are changing, and the employers are getting aware of those needs of their employees towards their families. And they try to support their employees in that way. Or, for example, the women that have children, for a certain time, they are outside of their job. And it is not that easy after, 6, 9, 12 months to get back in a working position and be fully productive.
And
because
research
you were away.
says that actually nobody is fully productive, that it takes some time for the mother that comes back after maternity to become productive again.
Exactly. And
this is hard for the employees, for the employers.
Sure, but now, in my point of view, the employers are getting more and more aware nowadays, and they know that they need to support those cases when women are coming back from their maternity or parental leave. Also, involving fathers into those. I would say activities related to the family, so more and more.
How can they include the fathers in those activities?
Well, for example,
what would you suggest?
If the fathers would be able to use parental leave and step in for a certain period of time and be together with the family, with their children, it is of a great help for the family. For example, in our country, we still don't have this kind of parental leave, except in specific cases where the fathers are allowed to be absent from their workplaces and get paid for that.
The law allows it, but almost nobody uses that benefit.
Actually, in other countries, yes, the law allows it, and we don't see high percentage of usage of those possibilities. But when we are talking about our country, the fathers are allowed, but only in specific cases when, for example, when the mother does not resigns from her
yes, the mother
leave,
needs to go back
parental leave,
so that the father
can take over.
Yes.
And that is one case. But what happens when the mother is not employed, for example, or is employed somewhere not according to the labor law, where she's not entitled to compensation.
She legally can't use that.
She's not entitled to compensation. She can use it, but she's not entitled to compensation. And in that case, of course, the family, if the father would try to help, then they would stay without any compensation for a certain period of time. And that is preventing them from helping the family as well.
This is a very serious topic because the childcare usually goes onto the mother's back. So all the sick leaves, the mother takes the sick days, and everything that usually needs to be done around the children, the mother is responsible for that. And then we have the companies not being keen on the mothers because they're absent instead of working. What can we do in this context?
A lot can be done, of course. This is so-called unvalued work or unpaid work that usually the mothers are taking over. And any kind of measures that could balance that is helpful. And there is a concept, by the way, that UNFPA has prepared. It is called family-friendly workplace model. And according to this model, there are different measures that employers can overtake to support their employees' families.
Can you give some suggestions? I'm sure it would be very useful.
Sure. I can give you for sure. For example, let's take flexibility in the working time. So as flexible the working time is regulated, the more easy for the employees is to cope with their family obligations. And of course, support with child care institutions within the companies, for example.
Yes, some companies do have even kindergartens.
Yes,
inside their premises.
Yes, these are the good examples, actually. Also, organization of the transportation. For example, for the children, when the children need to go to school and there is no one who can replace the parents, then maybe the company can do that. You know, there are many different possibilities and models, and it's up to the innovativeness of the companies and especially of the HR people to help their employees find better way to balance between their work and their families.
Yeah, it's been talked about a lot, work-life balance, but it looks like we're not really taking children into account for the companies, for most of the companies. At least it's like having children is a burden. And we are all saying children are the future, we are doing everything for the children, but really, are we?
But that is a societal problem, I would say. It's not just of the companies, it's for the whole society, yes. Especially having in mind the latest negative percentages we have in the fertility, let's say,
yes.
in the whole region.
Yes, the whole Europe has a negative demographic
the
trend.
Whole Europe, of course, but we are especially stuck with this problem.
Yes, we have the immigration problems on top
and
of
we
the
have the
demographic
immigration
problems.
problem, especially the immigration of young people. And
the
even young
ones.
Families.
Yes.
Even young families. And that's already not just a question of the organization, even though I think the organizations can do a lot, and I can come back to that topic. But again, the society can do much more, because obviously it's again about the well-being. If the people have well-being in their country where they have been born, they would not go somewhere else to look for some better well-being.
Why would they?
That is the question. And now coming back to the companies, especially how the companies deal that with young people. I have developed a nice model, I would say, for the companies throughout my company, the Talent Business Incubator, Step Up. This is the concept in which the companies, first of all, can select best business talents for themselves, because we do have a methodology how to recognize those top business talents, and then through a model of scholarship, when they are at their studies, when they're studying at the university, they can. I'm always saying they can make this relationship. They can bind themselves together, and they can assist the students or the young talents with a scholarship during their studies, which of course helps them financially. to make it easier somehow, on one hand. On the other hand, we do care for developing their business and soft skills. So we put them through a set of workshops and trainings. And when we put in addition to that the possibility for doing internship with the scholar giving organization or company, then they learn also the processes and they learn the people in the organization. So once they are ready, finished with the university, they easily get. Yeah, they are completely prepared.
Is you actually prepare the students to be involved right away in the
processes there. So there is no need of additional onboarding and no costs for onboarding. Of course, the costs have been done earlier, but they have got the best talent. And that is the advantage of the whole. In addition to that, the talents are making a flying career. They are much more potential once they come to the organization, and they really excel very fast. And in 2 to 5 years, they even get to key positions there. And in 5 to 7 years, they are the young people who can really take over the business of that company, and they can really develop the company further.
So this is very important to hear and talk about. So people who are actually supported, then it's easy for them in the companies, and this is something that the employers need to know. It's not waste of time to mentor somebody.
Exactly, and there is one additional important thing, and that is loyalty. You know, once you help someone, it's like the mother and the child, and the baby. So the baby gets the milk from the mother, and in most of the cases, the babies stay loyal to their mothers until the end of the life. So this is what the companies can really use to get this loyalty of the young people through such kind of scholarships and such kind of programs in which they will be taken care of.
So important, and I think we both agree on this, but just so that everybody is clear on the topic, this doesn't mean that companies do not need to pay the employees. Salary is a basic factor that needs to be fulfilled. We are talking about things that go above salary.
Yeah, as we call it, the salary is the hygiene factor.
And that is also in the theories behind the HR practice and science. Salary is not motivational. It needs to be present.
Well, it needs to be present. It is a motivation, and somehow it needs to follow person's career. You know.
Yes.
But if you see it from the other side, I mean, the employees at the very beginning of their careers, it's not only about the money. So for them, money is to provide the simple existence, to pay their bills if they have them. And from then on, it's about experience. So for the young people, it's the most important thing is the experience they are going to get by working somewhere. In the later phases, once, for example, you need a house, you create a family, then you need a car, and you need, other things for the children. Of course, the demand for money gets higher. And the companies need to be mindful about that and follow those needs with the employees. Once they are doing it right, then they will have higher retention rates.
Shouldn't be an issue.
Yeah, they will have high retention rates, and they can really benefit from the high performance of those people.
There's the challenge that every company faces. How to get the good people, how to retain the good people. So many good advices were here. I would just try to wrap up as we are coming towards the end of this episode, that there is a business case for well-being, that HR people need to be taking care of that business case, and that companies need to do team building, need to be taking care of people, need to be paying them well. What would you add?
They need shamans.
They need shamans. Maybe we need shamans on a societal level.
They need skilled shamans.
Yes. So we're not talking about the scamming witch doctors.
No.
We're talking about somebody who really understands people, really loves people, and really wants to do good.
Absolutely. That's the point. And once the companies really find such people, and once the HR professionals are trying to build their skills and to become more and more competent into this area, then it will be a benefit for everyone. It will be a benefit for the organizations. It will be a benefit for the employees. It will be a benefit for the HR professionals.
And since we already agreed that everything is interconnected, it will be a benefit for the society.
Absolutely.
So good practices within the companies spill over to the everyday life. Thank you very much for covering this topic. We have much more to talk about. I hope we will be able to see each other on something additional and to deepen these topics. It was a pleasure. And I'm sure we will be seeing each other soon.
For sure. Thank you very much for this invitation. You know where to find me. Actually,
yes.
I'm very much dedicated lately, especially in the past 6 years, as a president of the Macedonian HR Association, and you know that's a very good organization. I mean, you are part of it,
yes.
And many others.
I'm very happy to be a part of it.
Yeah, and many others are really joining us into this HR community in the country. And I was really delighted, and I have been putting all my efforts, all my energy, and all my knowledge into fulfilling this, by the way, voluntary activity, which I will be soon probably ending because after my second mandate we have a statutory barriers, but so I will be there, and I'm sure you will be there, and you will also join all our activities that we have. It's about the professionals, it's about the people, it's about the organizations.
For sure, it's a lot. It's great benefit that people get from it. It's a society like the tribes they were. It's a society that help each other, and I would encourage everybody in the HR industry to join, because it's there are a lot of benefits from it. And thank you for being such a good representative of that association. Those are hard shoes to fill in. Whoever comes after you.
Yeah, I am sure that there are a lot more things to be done. I had really pleasure, and I feel satisfied and fulfilled with what I have been doing there. There will be many challenges also in the future. I'm very happy that we are also well connected throughout Europe with all other national associations, and this is how we are also benefiting from different perspectives, from different experiences around Europe and around the world as part of the World Federation. So many things and many positive things are coming, I'm sure, and let's stick together, let's keep together, and we will be driving to a better world.
I'm excited to see what is next. Thank you again for your time and presence. It was wonderful to have you.
It was my pleasure, Anna. Thank you.
Thank you.